this is the chapter 1 missed sections. So I've gone through the chapter 1 to see what topics are missing from the PowerPoint slides. So now I have the book here, the textbook. So what we're going to do is we're going to just find those missing topics in the textbooks and I guess just read them. So here they are. Hopefully there's not too many. Like it's not too many pages and all that. First one looks okay, so it's comparing sections in HTML4 and HTML5. So what you want to do also is ask Dr. Aman are we going to just be tested on everything in the slides? Which I don't think that's true, because there's missing examples. So you can ask him that anyways, and you should let him know that the topics are missing in the slides. I mean, they probably did it on purpose, because the kids will probably skip the textbook. And every time I read the textbook, so this time I'm trying to not read the textbook. Reason is because by the time I'm done, I forget everything that's the theories. And you're not even tested on understanding of it. Understanding is a given. So understanding of the codes and all that, and the theories, that's, let's just say not theories, let's just say the codes. The codes is a given, you have to understand the codes. The theories, you have to know that. And by the time I'm reading the textbook, I forgot the theories. And you can't even record the textbook because it's too long. So I was trying to figure out another way to do it. I know that Pakistani guy, the smart one, he doesn't read the textbook, right? He just skips everything. So basically, what we have here is many of the sections, so this is comparing sections in HTML4 and HTML5, it's just a few paragraphs. So many of the sectioning elements described in figure 1-11 were introduced in HTML5 prior to HTML5. So what is figure -111? Let me tell you here. So these are like a bunch of HTML sectioning elements. So I think we were tested on these. These are the notes, you can refer to that. Many of the section elements described in figure 1-11 were introduced in HTML5. Okay, so prior to HTML5, sections were defined as divisions created using the following div element. So it's like angle bracket div space ID points to the string ID. Close the angle bracket. Then new line content, and the new line close the div tag, so angle bracket / div angle bracket. So it says where ID is a name that uniquely identifies the division. Okay, so you can name the div. Remember, div means division. Now it says figure 1-13 shows how the same page layout marker. Sorry. Figure 1-13 shows how the same page layout marked up using sectioning elements in HTML5 would have been defined in HTML 4.01 using div elements. Okay. By the way, you need another pillow or something to hold the dock because it's too heavy. So we have HTML5, so it's like a page divided, how the page would look. So basically, HTML5 has a header at the top. So it's like angle bracket, header, angle bracket, and to close it, it's angle bracket slash header, angle bracket. That's like the top part of it. The left side of it, so there's the top and there's the bottom. The bottom's the footer, so the footer is angle bracket, footer, angle bracket, and to close it, it's angle bracket slash footer, angle bracket. Now that's the top and bottom. So now there's a left and right. So left is nav, angle bracket, nav, angle bracket, that's opening tag, and to close it, it's angle bracket slash nav, angle bracket. Then on the right side, so there's a piece in the middle. I'm going to skip over for a sec. So the far right is aside, so it's angle bracket aside, angle bracket, then angle bracket slash aside, angle bracket. Okay, so the middle is section, so angle bracket, section, angle bracket, then to close it, angle bracket slash section, angle bracket. And in there's another piece within that middle piece, that's article. So it's angle bracket, article, angle bracket, that's opening, and to closing is angle bracket slash article, angle bracket. That's HTML5. Now there's HTML 4.01. So that is the exact same things. So header at the top, footer at the bottom, nav on the left, aside on the right, section in the middle, and within the middle there's another middle, which is article. Now instead they divide it using the div element. So I know I've seen that div element over, like, since I used the computer, and then you accidentally hit F something, and then all of a sudden it's like div this, div that. So that's what it is. It's showing the parts of the screen, that's all that it's doing. So now, in that case, so it's dividing the screen, it's showing what the divide is. So in this case, the only difference is that they've done it, like what you, this is still in HTML5, but it's not how they do this part. This part is done how I just explained, without the div keyword. Now in HTML4, this exact same thing that I showed, basically it's, how they did it is angle bracket div space ID points to the string header, close the angle bracket, then open angle bracket slash div, close angle bracket. So they have opening and closing div tags, naming the ID as the header. That's how they do it. And that's repeated for the rest. So for example, the footer is angle bracket div space ID points to the string footer, close the angle bracket, then open angle bracket slash div, close the angle bracket. So it has the div like that. That's repeated. So the nav is angle bracket div space ID points to the string nav, close angle bracket, then open angle bracket slash div, close angle bracket. Okay. Middle is angle bracket div space ID points to, actually no, sorry, we should have done the right one. So the far right one after nav is aside, so it's angle bracket div space ID points to string aside, then close angle bracket, open angle bracket slash div, close angle bracket. Okay, now the middle is angle bracket div space ID points to the string section, close the string, angle bracket, close angle bracket, then open angle bracket, then slash div angle bracket. That's the middle section, right? Then the middle piece within the middle piece, which is like a smaller rectangle within a rectangle, which is angle bracket div space ID points to the string article, close angle bracket, then open angle bracket, slash div, close angle bracket. So now it says, there's the description of that. So it says, one problem with div elements is that there are no rules for the IDs. One web designer might identify the page heading with the ID header. Well, another designer might use heading or top. Okay, so there's a mismatch kind of. It's like where they have where if you don't use a constant, they can name them whatever. Like if they don't use a constant for like interest, they can just name it something random. So it says a lack of consistency makes it harder for search engines to identify the page's main topics. Okay. So I guess that's all built into finding a website now. The advantage of the HTML5 sectioning elements is that their tag indicates their purpose in the document. Advantage of the HTML5 section is that their tag name identifies the purpose of the document, leading to greater uniformity in how pages are designed and interpreted. So that's it for this part. So that's using sectioning elements. Next one is character encoding, so I'll go back to the table of contents. Find that. Sometimes the topics are, like, hopefully they're not, well, let's just see what we have here. So we have, where is that? So we're looking for character encoding, which is page 33. Page 33, okay. Okay, so it says character encoding. Yes, I think I work a lot better from my video. That's just because I get uncomfortable. It says character encoding. Each character from a character set is associated with an encoding value that can then be stored and read by a computer program. For example, the copyright symbol C from the Unicode. So it's like the C with the circle on it, I think. So for example, the copyright symbol C from the Unicode character set is encoded with the number 169. If you know the encoding value, you can insert the corresponding character directly into your webpage using the following character encoding reference: ampersand, hashtag code, semicolon. So I think you can also do this with alt. But I guess it's different than what they said. It says tip, you can explore. That's just a stop tip, okay. Let's have a second order. Character encoding. And next one is character entity references. Okay, so it looks like this system's working so far. One sec. Okay, so when it's done, I'm just going to put a space under it. Actually, no. I'll just do that so at least we know where we are. I'll put the ticker, whatever, on that. So character entity references, that's the next one to do. So it says, so this one is kind of a longer one, let's see. It's like 2 pages or 2.5 pages, let's just see. One is an example, so one sec. So it says, so character entity references. Another way to insert a special symbol is to use a character entity reference, which is a short, memorable name used in place of the encoding reference number. Character entity, another way to insert a special, so character entity references, sorry, I'm having a hard time holding this book up, it's like 50 pounds. Try to find something to hold it up after. There's another way to, character entity references. Another way to insert a special symbol is to use a character entity reference, which is a short, memorable name used in place of the encoding reference number. So character entity references are inserted using the syntax and %char semicolon, where char is the character's entity reference. The character entity reference for the copyright symbol is copy. So to display the copyright symbol in your web page, you could insert the following expression into your HTML code. And %copy semicolon. So it would have been easy if they had this where they had an ebook where they could read it to you somehow. That would have been easy. Here. But still, I don't know if you really can listen to all that because it's still a lot. Okay, so let's just see. This seems to be more descriptive than the notes that they gave us. Let's do that comparison after and just look at 2 topics and see. So basically, so now it says in the last section you learned that HTML will collapse consecutive occurrences of white space into a single white space character. In the last session, you learn that HTML will collapse consecutive occurrences of white space into a single white space character. You can force HTML to display extra white space by using the following character entity reference. You can force HTML to display extra white space by using the following character entity reference. So you can force HTML to display extra white space by using the following character entity reference. So $NVSP semicolon, where NVSP stands for non-breaking space. When you want to display extra white space, you need to insert the non-breaking space character reference in the HTML code for each space you want to display. Now there's a reference, we'll skip that. For the footer, so for the footer in the boot curbside type page, use the bullet symbol. Bullet, which has the encoding value 8226 to separate the restaurant name, address, and phone number. Use the $NVSP character because we've already done that. Character reference to insert an extra blank space prior to the postal code and the restaurant address. Okay, so now there's an example which I think we've already recorded that. Then we have that's it. So that one's done. 3 more. Specifying the folder path. Okay, I remember this. I remember reading this in the book. I remember reading all this in the book. Okay. Let me find that. Which is specify the folder path. Okay. That is on page 60. Okay, so what's up here? Gonna want to go back to that golden train. It's actually it's actually alright. I've had better ones than that, but it's not bad. I just don't eat the sauces anymore because there's fucking chemicals in it. That's why I don't eat food anymore. Could add like franks and something else to it. Okay, so it's HTML. Okay, so specifying the folder path. So this is a long ass one. It's not too bad. What is it done here? Okay, so it's 3 pages, so let's just 2.5 pages, so let's just start. Problem is holding the book up. I'm having a problem holding the book up. I'm gonna need something to try to hold it, like some kind of pillow or something. Let's try scrunching the blanket and see if that'll help. I'm not sure if that'll help. Okay, kind of helped. Okay, so let's try that. So specifying the folder path. So in the links you created, the browser assumed that the linked files were in the same folder as the current page. What links? Let's try something I did. Okay, so However, large websites containing hundreds of documents often place documents into separate folders to make them easier to manage. Okay, so I remember that. Thought I read it again, but I would have forgot that if I read it again. Figure 1-40 shows the previous of how Satya might organize his files as the curbside type website increases its size and complexity. In this structure, all folders start from a root folder named Thai that contains the site's home page, which Satya has stored in the index.html file. Satya has moved all of his images and CSS style sheet files into their own folders. He has divided the rest of the web pages among 3 subfolders: the general folder for pages containing general information about the restaurant, mobile folder for pages with content specifically about the mobile food service, and the catering folder for pages describing curbside Thai's catering opportunities. Okay. Now there's like a figure sample folder structure, so it looks, you've seen it kind of before, so it's like Thai is a root folder. Then that branches out into like docs, images, CSS. Now docs branches into general, mobile, and catering. Okay, so we all have like files in there and shit. Now, you have to create links between files in separate folders. You must provide a path to the linked file. HTML supports 2 kinds of paths: absolute and relative. Okay. So this was kind of confusing, I remember. HTML supports 2 kinds of paths: absolute and relative. Okay. So absolute paths. An absolute path is a path that starts from the root folder and processes data. An absolute path is a path that starts from the root folder and processes down the entire folder structure described with the expression. Slash folder 1, slash folder 2, slash folder 3, slash file. Root folder 1 is the root folder, followed by the subfolder, folder 2, folder 3, and so forth. So it's like absolute path that starts from the root folder and processes down the entire folder structure described. So I think this is what they usually do. Structure described with the inspection. So it's like slash folder 1 slash then folder 2 slash folder 3 slash then the file. Root folder 1 is the where folder 1 is the root folder, followed by the subfolders folder 2, folder 3, and so forth, down to the linked file. For example, based on the structure shown previously in figure 1-40, an absolute path pointing to the ct_catering HTML file will have the expression /tie/docs /tie/. Hopefully you could have heard, you were able to hear me because the microphone moved down or something. So /tie/docs/catering /ct_catering .html. Your files are located on different drives as well as in different folders. You must include the drive folder in the path with the expression /drive there's like the or sign to the slash, then slash folder 1 / folder 2 / folder 3 / file. Root drive is the letter assigned to the drive. Note that the drive letter must be followed by the per character. Okay, so that's what it says. That they have the or character after the drive. Thus, if the ct_catering.html file were located on drive E, the absolute path that includes the name would have the expression /e or /e or slash. So /e or slash /tie/doc/catering ct_catering.html. Note that you don't have to include a drive letter if the link document is located on the same drive as the current file. Okay, so after that, they have relative paths. When many folders and subfolders are involved. Actually, maybe we'll just come back because it's like 30 something minutes. Actually, or we come back. Yeah, maybe I'll just come back. Maybe we could just finish it off actually. So we have specifying the folder path. Relative paths. Let's just finish it off because there's only 2 more after this. So we have We just have some, I already have water. Supposed to time it for 2 cups an hour now. Time it. Okay, so let's just wait. So we have relative paths when many folders and subfolders are involved. Absolute path expression. So I think it's supposed to say expressions. Can quickly become long and cumbersome to work with. For this reason, most web designers prefer relative paths. In which the path is expressed relative to the locations of the current document. If the current document and a linked file are in the same folder, there is no path, and you need only include the file name. So if the link file is in a subfolder of the current document, the path includes all of the subfolder names starting from the location of the current page using the expression. For example, folder 1 / folder 2 / folder 3 / file. Okay. That looks like exactly what they show us at the top. Where folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, and so forth are subfolders of the current document. For example, the relative path to the ct_root.html file starts with the. So it says, for example, the relative path to the ct_root.html file starts with index.html file. Is docs/general ct_root.html. So they didn't start with. It's not even the same example, so I don't know why they did that. Then it says, note that relative paths are often expressed in terms of familial relationships such as parent, child, and descendant, sibling, and so forth, in order to indicate the hierarchical nature of the folder structure. Relative paths can also go up to the hierarchy to parent folders by including the symbol ... where which means go up. Oh, which means go up one level. Okay. So it's like dot dot into parentheses within like a pair of parentheses. Thus to go from ct_root.html in the general folder up 2 levels to the index.html file, you would enter the expression dot dot slash dot dot slash. So there's no parentheses in that case. Dot dot slash index.html. Finally, to go sideways in the folder structure by going to a file in a different folder, but on the same level, you go up to the parent folder and then back down to a different child folder. For example, to go from the ct_review.html file in the general folder to the ct_locations.html file in the mobile folder, you would use the relative path expression. Dot dot slash mobile slash ct_locations.html. Okay, so that's kind of confusing. You can reference the current folder using a single period character. Okay. You'd probably have to see an example of that to actually see how it works, because I think that is missing something. I'm not sure. Okay, let's show another kind of page here. Okay, so some of these can get long, but I mean, they're not terrible. And working with hypertext attributes. Okay, where's that? It's kind of a lot actually, so we might just, well, perhaps we'll just come back. So we'll just stop that there, we'll come back. So we're ending the part 1 of the missed topics in chapter 1, where there's 3 more to do: finishing, specifying the folder path, linking to a location within a document, working with hypertext attributes. So it's like another 5 textbook pages, so we'll just come back to that. And that will complete. Then don't forget to compare the actual parts and the notes to the textbook themselves to just see if it's actually helpful or not, because I noticed some of the crap is just crap, so hopefully it's helpful. Also, I'll just stop that one.